Hey, good day. So, you've got your channel up and running and you're filming on one of these little guys. You got it hooked to your computer there or off to your monitor and you're filming yourself. Or you're trying to run everything around through your smartphone looking at that. And you're starting to wonder, what's next? Is there something I could take a next jump up to? So what is one of my options? Is there an option out there? Have you thought about the little Canon M50? Today, we're going to take a look at this little guy. Okay, so what I like about the little Canon M50 is the size. It's very small, very portable, and it's got a really good grip on it. So you can get a hold on the side there. It's got a good grip, good feel. It's got kind of like the little rubberized texture right along here and around to certain parts of it to get a good grip on it. I also like the position of the buttons on it and stuff. I can generally control everything with just one hand. Now, one of the big features on it everybody loves is the little flip out screen to the side, which is really great for vlogging right there. That screen is also touch screen, so if you're coming from a cell phone, you'll feel right at home with this, working with the screen in the back. Now, Canon has also just updated the software on this, so you can go ahead and set it on your desktop, and it works really good for streaming. You set it up and directly connect right to your computer and use it as a streaming camera also. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and take this thing outside, put it through some paces, and go ahead and show you how it works and give you a good feel of it. Okay, we're out here with the little Canon M50. Let's go ahead and run it through its vlogging test and see how good it does. Now, I've gone ahead and set it up with the kit lens that was on it, and it has the set at 1080, 30 frames per second. One thing I've always liked about the little Canon M50 is the image quality and how good it does out here in the bright light. Can't say that for my other camera. It doesn't do really good in the bright light. It has a lot of trouble. Now, one thing I've also noticed with this is the weight and the size. It's small, light, easy to move around. I noticed when I was first looking at cameras, I was looking at the SL2 and the 80D. And they were both real DSLRs. They were a lot bigger, a lot heavier. This one's a lot easier to go ahead and walk around with, a lot nicer along that line there. So something to think about when you're looking for cameras. Now, I'm not going to be out here too long. We're just going to come up and go right around here because we're right now getting ready to go ahead and start downpouring on us. And this camera isn't set up for water. It's not waterproof or anything, so I don't want to go ahead and get it wet. But hopefully this is giving you a little bit of an idea of what it's like to be out here and vlog with it. So let's go ahead and head back in right now. Okay, coming back from a vlogging test there, let's go ahead and dive into a little bit of the hardware end onto this little Canon M50. It does have the APS-C sensor, which is a 24.1. That's a true and blue tested one. That has been in a lot of different cameras out there. It's been used a lot, so we know it's very reliable. This camera also has the DIGIC 8 processor inside it, which gives the good power distribution. But let's go ahead and talk about the battery here, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Talk about some of the things you can do, because it does have a little bit of power time on the battery there. Now, one thing I did go ahead and mention is it does have a touch screen, so a lot of you coming over with smartphones will feel right at home. And you can do a lot of controlling and stuff right from the smart screen, or from the screen there, so you don't have to use all the buttons and everything. Now, this camera in photo mode can also do burst shots. So it can go ahead and pump out 10 quick pictures real fast. You hit the button, it'll take 10 quick pictures, which is really good for your thumbnails. You want to go ahead and set it up there and get some thumbnails for you, and just hit that button and go ahead and take about 10 quick shots, and you can kind of do a couple quick moves in it as it's trying to pump them out real fast, and see how you can go ahead and set up for your thumbnails. That way you kind of get 10 to pick from right there. I go ahead and use it on that part right there. Now, Canon has been known for its color. And with the M50, this is no exception. This camera does have really good color quality that comes out of it. Now, it does have dual pixel autofocus on it. So when you're out there trying to track stuff and get stuff, it does really good on that. It also has face tracking and eye tracking, which means the camera will go ahead and lock onto your eye, and no matter where you move, it will follow you or your face, and it will start following you around. It does have raw C compression for your 4K to go and make those files down a little bit smaller there. So when you go ahead and transfer and stuff, it will go ahead and make that a little bit easier, and that's so you're not trying to transfer this really big file. So that's a nice feature this camera has also. It does have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, which will connect over to your smartphone, which is really good because as you take a picture of something, it can go ahead and send it right to the smartphone, and you can upload it to Facebook or Instagram almost instantly from there with the Canon Connect app that it has. So let's dive a little bit more into this, and I'll go ahead and show you some overviews of it. We'll dive into a little bit more detail into some of the things and some of the 4K on this. Okay, right now you're looking with the Canon M50. Go ahead and check out how good it's doing the autofocus here. We've got it set at 24 frames per second at a 1080. So you can go ahead and see how it looks right there. Getting a nice good picture out of there. Okay, now we've gone ahead and bumped up the Canon M50 to a 60 frames per second. And we're checking out its autofocus and it's tracking how it's doing over there. Okay, now you're looking at the Canon M50. We went ahead and set it at 4K at 24 frames per second. Now it does not have the dual pixel autofocus here anymore. It does have what it has, contrast-based focusing. So you can kind of see the difference there. You can also see where this 1.7 crop that it has on it now, and how it's gone ahead and zoomed it in. Some ways the 4K, when it gives a little bit of extra zoom right there, if it's something you're looking for, but it's definitely giving you a lot more detail and stuff. So you can kind of see how it's working. One good thing the 4K with the M50 is really good at, it'd be good for like interviews or sit downs where you're not doing a lot of fast action stuff, so the camera doesn't have to drift on you and stuff. But in the 4K motion here, it does really good. Gives you a nice crystal clear picture and lots of detail and stuff. I did not go ahead and set the crop on the raw on this one. This is just straight 4K right out of the camera. Okay, now what I'd like to dive into is a little bit about the lenses and some of the accessories you can go ahead and get for it. But one thing I wanted to go ahead and show you first is I've noticed on YouTube out there and a lot of channels out there, they don't show you this one little easy part is you've got these separated. How do they go together? I learned that when I first started with these cameras, trying to win on YouTube, that how do you do that? How did these actually connect? Actually, it's got a white dot right on it, and the camera has a white dot. You just go ahead and line up your dots, turn it clockwise, it locks it right in place. To release it, you just push the release button. Pretty much all cameras out there are that way. So that's a little quick thing to note if you're new at it and you're going, how do we get the lens on and off? Just line up the dots, turn it clockwise, it'll lock it right in, push the button, unlock it. Now, it does come with the 15 to 45 lens with it, which is a pretty good lens. I've had a really good time, really good luck with it. It does have image stabilization built into it, but I've noticed because the camera is so light and stuff, it still gets a little shaky and stuff there. So you got to think about that as you're going around. Even when you're vlogging, it still wants to pick up all those little shakes and stuff. It tries to help you, but it, you know, a good gimbal or something like that would probably help out to go ahead and stabilize that a little bit if that's something you're needing. Now, let's go ahead and jump to some of the lenses I got for this one here. This first one here is a 75 to 300 lens. I call this my social distance lens. If I want to go ahead and take some good shots and stuff and I don't want to be around people, this is a good one to do it. It can zoom right in from a nice good distance there. Now, this is a full frame lens. And one thing that's nice about the little Canon M50, they use the M mount lenses on here, but they do have an adapter. I'll get a little bit more into this in just a second, but it goes ahead and it makes it where this can connect to this camera here. Now, another little lens that I came across here, this is a little 50 millimeter. So one problem that I've noticed with the kit lens that it comes with is the aperture is only 3.5 is the lowest it will go. So it does have a little bit of trouble with light. This one here gets down to 1.7 on this little 50 millimeter. So when I got this one here, connected it to the camera, that was one of the big first things I noticed is, one, even though this is the manual, this thing came up with a really crystal clear picture, and it worked in really low light. So you might find with the kit lens on here, your low light is going to might be a problem there. I've noticed it out in the sunlight, seems to work good, but with low light it's the opposite effect. Now let's get back into the little adapter here. This is a little adapter that Canon made for it, which goes right onto the camera, locks in and put it, and then a lot of your lenses, like this one here, will just go ahead and adapt right onto here. Now, one thing I've also noticed, now this one has a red dot, this has a white. Same thing, just line your dots up and go ahead and put it in. Now, we're getting some little third-party lenses, there are other company lenses out there. There is a bunch of little adapters for them too. Now you're starting to say, okay, with all these adapters here, how much is it going to cost? And it does increase the size a little bit. But clip this onto here, add them in there. This right here I found for about 30, 40 bucks online. Go ahead and get this. They do have a speed booster one that's out there. It has a glass inside it. And what it does is it makes the Canon M50 like a full frame. So that one though costs about $100, $150. There's a big jump up for not having it and having it. But that's something to think about there. And they're little adapters, so if you go ahead and get other lenses, just fit right onto this here, and then the lenses will go ahead and match right onto that there. So you can use other lenses out there too, different companies and stuff there. I think this one is a Pentax right here. They actually did. But working with this camera, it actually works real nice. The little adapter here cost me 10 bucks. So these little adapters are cheap. These you can get these a dime a dozen, so you have a choice of different lenses. So not only does Canon have a really great line of different lenses, not so much with the M mounts here, but they do have a fair amount and they're doing a little bit better. But you do have access to their full line of all their big lenses for full frame lenses and stuff. You can go ahead and get the little adapter and you can use them. Now, another advantage is when you add this on here, it does give the camera a little bit more weight, helps a little bit with that shaking. Now, one thing I also make a really good point about it is on the side over here, a little Canon M50, if we can get it to pop open here, a little thing does not open really good. It has a little microphone jack on the side. So that gives you access to go ahead and use a shotgun mic or a little microphone, and you can just plug it in and put it right on the camera there. So that is something to think about when you're out there and you need an accessories for it. Some of the little point and shoot cameras don't have that. They can't change the lenses on it, and they don't have the little mic jack on the side. So that's something to think about. Now, one little thing that I am a big fan of is a handle for the camera. You just go ahead and put that right on there, tighten it down. Now you've got a nice good handle. Not only do you have your grip, and we lost the little cover on there. Not only do you have your grip right on it, but you have the handle, which you can change different angles and stuff. I've actually had it where I had to shoot down like this and have the camera and hold it that way, or I've had it where I've had to come really low and walking with the camera moving across the ground or something. So the handle is actually coming really good on that. So another little feature with the lens not picking up really good on light, I went out and found one of these. These are about anywhere between about 15 to 20 bucks on Amazon, and you just click them on and they've got a nice little powerful light. They do come two different ways. This one has batteries, or they come with they can charge with inside them. So those work out really good to go ahead and give it a little bit more boost of light right in front of it. Now, light can also be your enemy when you're outside and you're getting some big bright sunlight and you're getting some of the flares, little light flares and stuff. This is a little hood cover right here. This is nice. It screws right onto the front of it, and it kind of blocks the lens right there to keep the sunlight from hitting the glass on the front of the lens here. So that's a really good thing to work on also. That will help you out. Okay, had to do a quick change there. We had to go ahead and clear off my desk and bring even more stuff on here that I want to go ahead and talk about. Now, I did mention about the battery. It does, that is one probably drawback that the Canon has. A lot of these cameras out there right now, I've seen with batteries, they're having a short time with the battery. I'm getting about 235 shots out of it, or about 35 to 45 minutes on filming time with the camera, with the batteries that they have in it. Now, Canon's using the LPE 12 battery in here. So what I did is I just went out, picked some up online with a little charger that came with it. I think these things ran about 20 bucks. So you get two batteries plus the charger there, and I would recommend that. One battery is going to go through real quick, especially if you're trying to learn and practice with it. You're going to run through the battery real quick. Then it probably takes about an hour to an hour and a half to go ahead and recharge and back up again. Now, one other little thing that I like that you can do, and if you're going to go ahead and set the camera, use it continuously. And one thing I want to go ahead and point out too while we're thinking about it is when you're using the camera only runs for about 29 minutes and it'll shut itself off when you're filming. Now that's set because a lot of the European rules over there is if a camera runs filming for longer than 30 minutes, they charge an extra tax for it. So purposely Canon went ahead and made it so the camera will go ahead and shut itself off when filming at 29 minutes, or right about that time frame there. But really all you need to do is just turn right back on, it'll go ahead and start working again. So that's something to think about. But as you're filming, right on the bottom here is where the battery compartment is. Just push it over and it'll pop it out. Just pull the little lever and the battery pops in and out. Now a nice little thing they have here is a little dummy battery, which you can go ahead and put in there. It'll just slide right in where the old one was. Lock it in, close the top of it, and if you look right on it, and I'll give an overhead shot on this too, is when you flip the little lever back right here, it's got a little hole right there. Now right in that hole is where this little guy comes in, and he just plugs right into it. The other end is like a little USB, plugs into your wall mount and plug it in. Now you have an endless supply of battery. The camera will run 30 minutes. If you run it for 30 minutes, turn it. Sometimes a lot of them will just do a little trick and hit it, make it take a little quick picture, and then it'll keep running for another 30 minutes again. As far as I know, the little Canon M50 has not had any problem with overheating like a lot of the other ones that are out there right now. At least I've never had any trouble. I've had this one shut down. Now I've run it for at least over an hour and a half before trying to film. Did the little 30-minute thing, keep it going, and this one kept working for me. So it's been a good little one right there. Okay, let's go ahead and take an overview of the Canon M50, kind of give you some close-up shots of it and take a good look at it. So now if you're looking at it right at the top right here, go ahead and pop that up. You're going to notice it has its flash right there. So if you do need a flash, it does have one built in on it, and it does have a hot shoe mount right there on top right there for you. And right behind it there's your viewfinder right there. So it's got a built-in viewfinder right on it. And looking at the top up here, we'll go ahead and notice it does have, here's your button here, you go ahead and take the pictures with right here. It does have one dial for your settings to go ahead and set and adjust it. You do have to hit the M function button to go ahead and move, switch between them right there, and that's set right there. Next over here on the side is your record button. You can set the main button right here to be your picture and record, but we'll go ahead and go over that maybe on a different day. You do have your dial on top right here for all your different settings, and your on and off switch. Looking right at the front of it right here, you'll see there's a little button on the side right here. That's to go ahead and release the lens. So you can just go ahead and counterclockwise turn it after you push that to take it off. Now let's go ahead and flip it around over to the side over here. We'll come in this way at it. Let me pull this little plastic cover right there back. We'll go ahead and move that back right there. And you can't see it. Let's see if we can get a good shot right there on it. Okay. There, now we get a better view of it. What you're going to notice right on the top right there is your mini USB port right there, and the one right below it is a micro HDMI. Now I've heard a lot of people call this micro HDMI. They said it's a mini one, but actually if you notice that's a lot smaller right there, so that is the micro one right there. Now right below it, you're going to notice this little button right here. That is your Wi-Fi button right there. So if the camera is already preset for your smartphone or something, you just have to push that button right there and it'll pop up on the screen showing your device and if you want to connect to it or not. Now, if we go ahead and let's flip it over right to the bottom right here, and we'll kind of spin it around so I can get a better grip on that and show you. Right in the middle here, it does have your 1/4-20 thread for go ahead and hook it up to a tripod or not. It's set it up that way. And on the side right here, just pop that open. And there's where your battery is underneath right there, and your disc right here for your recording right there. And to get this out, you just pop that little lever to the side, and it pops the battery right out, and you just push it right back in. Now, if you are going to go ahead and use a dummy battery in here, we'll pull this little plastic lever back right here and turn it out of the way, and you'll see a hole right there, and that's where the little dummy power supply thing right there, we go ahead and adapt right into the dummy battery right there. And if you don't need it, just push it back and push it down to lock it out of the way. Now looking at the back of the camera right here, you do have two function buttons right here that you go ahead and set and use. Here's your information button that would pop up information on the screen and stuff right there. You do have your dial with different settings and stuff right there, and your set button right in the middle. On the bottom here, this is if you have done any movies or pictures, just push the button, you can preview the last ones you've done, and your menu one right here. Now let's turn it to the side here, we'll open it up, and you can go ahead and see the little screen right there. We can go ahead and notice it will turn only about halfway, a quarter way right there. Turn it back up, but it does turn fully all the way around on the other side, and you can flip it back in there so you could have the screen right on the back here. Looking at the camera on the side, let's go ahead and pop this out of the way here and see if I can get you a good view. And right here on the side, it has the 3.5 millimeter microphone jack. It does not have a headphone jack. So now we've made a complete circle around the camera, so you kind of got a good look at it right there. Kind of go ahead and give it a straight on shot right there to kind of see it that way. Give it a couple different angles right there, so kind of give you some good look and good views of the camera right there. Now the camera itself and any accessories I'm going to go ahead and show after this point here, I will go ahead and put in the description down below. So if you're interested in getting any of those, just go ahead and click down there and I have links right to the sites right there for you. Now, and one thing to think about if you're looking on the market out there to get in the camera and you're making that next step up and thinking about what you're doing from your cell phone there, is go ahead and think about from the point and shoot cameras. One of the advantages that the M50 has, it has the removable lenses, so you can go ahead and change the lenses out there, and it has the mic jack on the side. So that would be one thing to think about. Canon calls this an entry-level camera. I think this is a well-rounded camera is what I call it. Now, every camera out there, if you're looking for a camera that's going to have it all and do it all, you're not going to find it. But this one is definitely a well-rounded camera. And I've been hearing rumors of the M50 Mark II coming out, which might actually give a really big advantage to this one here. Because unlike the Sony, when the A61 came out, the 64 and the 66 came out, the other ones dropped in price. So that might make this one come down once the other one starts coming out onto the market there. So, in closing here, I look at it as the M50. It has all the things that the beginners want. It does a good JPEG on there. It's got a very easy interface to go ahead and use right there too, so it works really easy. And again, I think it's a well-rounded camera. It does a lot of different things for you. And for me, it has been a really big workhorse. I've actually used it a lot. This camera has done a lot. And I like this camera a lot. I've gone ahead and used it a lot, and it's going to stay with me until it doesn't work anymore. Now, if you like the videos today, please go ahead and give me a big thumbs up and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you want to see more videos like this or know when I have stuff coming out, hit that little notification bell. Well, me and the little M50 actually going to go ahead and start getting set up for next week's video. And this one is actually going to be doing some of the filming in that one. So you'll be seeing a lot more of this one here. So I want to thank you for watching today and have a great day.